Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines and pride of Malayan race, was born on the moonlit night of Wednesday, June 19, 1861, in the town of Calamba, Laguna. He was the seventh child in the family of 11 children, named Saturnina, Preciano, Narcisa, Olympia, Lucia, Maria, Concepcion, Josefa, Trinidad, and Soledad. Both his parents were educated in the Lectus English families. The childhood of Jose Rizal can be characterized by his desire to live, even frequenting the church nor by his hope to watch and observe people. Don Francisco Mercado, born in Biñan, Laguna on May 11, 1818. He studied Latin and philosophy at the College of San Jose in Manila. Became a tenant farmer of the Dominican-owned hacienda. A hardy and independent-minded man who talked less and worked more, and was a strong embodied and valiant in spirit. Rizal affectionately called him a model of fathers. Doña Chodora Alonso Realunda, born in Manila on November 8, 1826, educated at the College of Santa Rosa, a well-known college for girls in the city. A remarkable woman possessing refined culture, literary talent, business ability, and a fortitude-sportant woman. The first teacher of Rizal was his mother, who was a remarkable woman of good character and fine culture. On her lap, he learned at the age of 3 the alphabet and the prayers. As tutor, Doña Chodora was patient, conscientious, and understanding. It was she who discovered that her son had a talent for poetry. Accordingly, she encouraged him to write poems, to lighten the monotony of memorizing the ABCs, and to stimulate the son's imagination. She related many stories. While learning to read and write, he already showed inclinations to be an artist. At the age of 8, he wrote a Tagalog poem, Sa Aking Mga Kababata, the theme of which revolves on the love of one's language. As Jose grew older, his parents employed private tutor to give him lessons at home. The first was Maestro Celestino, and the second, Maestro Lucas Padler. Later on, an old man named Leon Monroy, a former classmate of Rizal's father, became the boy's tutor. The old teacher lived at the Rizal home and instructed Jose in Spanish and Latin. Unfortunately, he did not live long. He died 5 months later. After Monroy's death, the hero's parents decided to send their gifted child to a private school in Biñan. His mother's cousin, Uncle Jose Alberto, a husky and athletic man, encouraged Rizal to develop his frail body by means of physical exercises. He was concerned with the physical development of his young nephew and taught the latter love for the open air and developed in him a great admiration for the beauty of nature. Uncle Gregorio, a scholar and a book lover, he instilled into the mind of the boy love for education. He advised Rizal work hard and perform every task to bear carefully. Learn to be swift as well as narrow. Be independent in thinking and make visual features of everything. On February 17, 1872, the three martyred priests, Fathers Mariano Gomez, Jose Apolonio Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, well known for the acronym Gumburza, were executed bargarote by the Spaniards in Bagong Bayan. The implementing year in 1872, the Cavite Mutiny. The three priests improved the hatred of the Spanish authorities for leaving the campaign against the abusive Spanish friars and fighting for equal rights among priests. They fought or solved issues about a secularization in the Philippines, resulted in a conflict on a religious regular and the church second offense. The Spanish persecutor grabbed a witness to testify the case against the three priests who were charged with expedition and prison, which led to their death. Their execution left profound effects on many Filipinos, including Rizal. We dedicate his novel Noli Me Tangere to their memory. Among the members of Rizal family, next to Rizal himself, Doña Chodora perhaps suffered the most from Spanish irony. Twice, she was unjustly imprisoned on charges which were either preposterous or drifty. In 1871, she was accused of poisoning the wife of her brother Jose. The case was brought with the Supreme Court, where she was defended by two of Manila's most famous lawyers. She was subsequently acquitted, but she had already suffered imprisonment for 2.5 years. He enrolled with his brother Pasiano at the University of Santo Tomas, where his father wants him to study. Rizal was so focused and determined to his studies and never gives time on La Cuacha. The endless persecution prompted them to join Rizal in Hong Kong 1872. It was a contented Rizal who in front Blumentate of his parents, sisters, and brother by living peacefully with him, far from the persecution they suffered to the Blumentades. In 1878, he enrolled in medicine at the University of Santo Tomas, but had to stop in his studies when he felt that Filipino students were being discriminated upon by their Dominican tutors. Rizal was 16 years old when one Sunday in 1887, he paid visit to his maternal grandmother in Trozo, Manila, and their men, among others, Segunda Katigbak. Rizal gravely described her as a short lady with eloquent eyes, rosy cheeks, and smiled that she looks very beautiful face. Mariano Katigbak, Segunda's brother and Rizal's classmate, was also in the half. Probably had no idea that his friend had also experiencing a love at first sight. In year 1887, at the age of 16, he obtained his Bachelor of Arts degree with an average of excellent from the Ateneo Municipal de Manila. February 8, 1888, Rizal arrived in Hong Kong. Rizal's visit to the United States in 1888. On May 3, 1882, his first in Spain, when he continued his studies at the Universidad Central de Madrid. In 1890, he reprinted in Paris the Morgas Successus de las Islas Filipinas. On September 18, 1891, El Filibusterismo, his second novel, and as is the Noli Me Tangere, was printed in Ghent. In March 1887, his satirical book Noli Me Tangere, that exposing the arrogance and despotism of the Spanish clergy, the ills of Philippine society, was published in Berlin. Having traveled extensively in Europe, America, and Asia, he mastered 22 languages, including other native dialects. Rizal was inspired to study ophthalmology by his mother failing eyesight and his desire to help her. In the late 19th century, ophthalmology was already a separate specialty, but there were no organized residency programs. Training was obtained in preceptorships under the tutelage of well-known professors. Rizal first studied the eyes under the famous French ophthalmologist Louis Wecker. Most people did not know that Jose Rizal had a wife. Her name was Josephine Bracken. During Jose Rizal's exile in Dapitan, he met Josephine. When he treated her stepfather named George Toffer, who was going blind. Josephine had beautiful blue eyes, chestnut blonde hair, and a petite figure, which immediately attracted Jose Rizal and led to their love affair. She loved Rizal so much that she wished to marry him. In fact, Jose Rizal sent a letter to his mother Chodora asking permission to make Josephine as his wife. Jose's sisters and friends were not open to this idea because they believed that Josephine was a spy. Their accusation did not stop Jose Rizal from pursuing a marriage to Josephine, although they were not granted one by the church. Instead, the couple joined hands together in front of the altar and proclaimed themselves a married couple. Rizal lived in exile in faraway Dapitan, a remote town in Mindanao, which was under the jurisdiction at the Jesuits from 1892 to 1896. There are several reasons. Rizal had published books and articles abroad, which shows his loyalty to Spain. Packages of Handel's note, his arrival in Manila, and his novel Il Filibusterismo. While a political exile in Dapitan, he engaged in agriculture, fishing, and business. He maintained and operated a hospital. He conducted classes, taught his pupils the English and Spanish languages. Vocational courses including agriculture, surveying, sculpturing, painting, the art of self-defense, and with the help of his pupils, he constructed water dam in the relief map of Mindanao. He was in prison in Fort Santiago on July 6, 1892 to July 15, 1892, on a charge that anti-prior pamphlets were found in the luggage of his sister Lucia, who arrived with him from Hong Kong. In his prison, he wrote an untitled poem, now known as Mi Ultimo Adios, which considered as masterpiece and a living document not for the hero's love of country, but also for the Filipinos. Rizal wrote a letter for his family and the last message to his mother. But a greater sorrow that fill a mother's heart that to see the day of her beloved son will be sentenced to death. Doña Chodora passionately appealed to the Governor-General for her son's death, but it was insane. As the sun brightly shines to a new dark, a warm wind touched the skin. A platoon soldier at his back, pointing those guns to him, knowing his death is near. And Rizal remembered everything happened in his life.
Paalam na, sintang lupang tinubuan, bayang masagana sa init ng araw. Eding maligayang sa ami pumanaw, at perlas ng dagat sa dakong silangan. Inihahantog ko ng ganap na tuwa, sa iyo yaring buhay na lantanat aba. Naging dakila may, iaalay rin nga, kung dahil sa iyong ikatitimawa. Ang nanga sa digmang dumog sa paglaban, handog din sa iyo ang kanilang buhay. Hirap ay di pansin at di gunam-gunam ang pagkaparool o pagtatagumpay. And meet his death as he fell to the ground. He encouraged people to fight for our nation, our freedom. Ang kabataan ay pag-asa ng bayan.